Hey everybody, welcome to Speed Bump. We are hiding the data so we can go over here. We have a new game for you this month. It's a week in already, so they're gonna have a little less time than usual to work on it, I think. Let me see. And this one will, yeah, it's actually 2 weeks, and so they'll have until the 13th probably to work on this one.
13th puts us. Yeah, that gives them about what, 4 weeks?
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, do you want to end this one with a race or a road record holding? Because I think that makes a difference. If it's a race, we could probably do the 6th.
I think world record grind again is probably good for this one.
Yeah, I think it's wide open. I only see 2, and one of them is way faster than the other one. And even that one looks like it has improvement.
And the best one definitely looks like it has some room for improvement. This game looks really interesting, though. I had never even heard of this game until Smite suggested it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the speed bumpers do with it, because we've had some issues with platformers and all sorts of different games often devolving to kind of silly challenges in terms of things like mashing and stuff like that. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of that in this one.
Oh no, my shirt gave it away.
Oh no.
Not Speed Racer, not this time, maybe next time. There are many Speed Racer games.
People aren't ready for Speed Racer, I assure you.
There's one really bad one. Well, let's reveal it. I'm ready. I got that information typed up. You wanna...
Let's do it. We got our players getting ready, so we need a few minutes. So go for it.
Disaster strikes at Magic Island. Wicked Wainwright has taken over. Only apprentice Wizard Flink can save the day. They really give this guy a bad rap. Like, they just keep saying misadventures and apprentice and amateur. They really don't.
Wow, what a screw up.
Only idiot Flink can get us out of this jam. This is a game where you can jump on the enemies, you can slide down the slopes, you can throw stuff at dudes, just like Mario Brothers stuff. But on top of all that, you can make spells. There's 10 of them, and they do a lot of wild stuff. They need ingredients. They don't tell you exactly what ingredients. You gotta find the recipes. Also, they take magic, and the magic operates in the same way that Sonic's rings do. So basically, the spells are when you have a whole bunch of magic and a whole bunch of ingredients, you can do something neat with them. And I'm not actually sure what the optimal use of those spells are, because there's some interesting ones. There's shields, shrink, you can grow plants, which is an instant thing, like obviously in a video game that's just going to take some little shrub and turn it into a tree that you climb. In my experience when I was doing that, you got some nice bonus stuff for that, but I don't know that it's speed run material. But also I'm pretty sure those aren't random, so we're not going to need to find the ingredient recipes every time, probably.
No. I imagine that'll be fixed, and that's also kind of the benefit of doing world record grind a little bit, is that if this does turn out to be the sort of game that there's a little bit of randomness in, then averaging it out over a few runs will probably mitigate that problem.
Well, we have 8 people and I've got them all on one scene. Let me get that world record information up there, actually. What in the heck is the world record time?
Just had it open. Looks like it's 29:42 by XX Tazzy. XXTAZY.
Okay. World record clock. I'm gonna get that. So we're going to the 16th on this one. It's a world record run competition. Just like I usually do. We are doing a race.
This game looks really cool. This game looks really cool. And I'm really looking forward to, just like Smite was saying at the beginning, this was Smite's idea to start showcasing these games with a race rather than one of us playing it, but I actually think this is a really good idea. I think seeing how a lot of people approach the game will be a great way to start this off, and give people a chance to have some fun with a game with no pressure. I think having our first race be on week 1, like after 1 week had passed, was causing some problems, because people did not want to play more or less blind when some people had spent a whole week already grinding and perfecting it. So
yeah, I think that's true.
This puts everyone on even footing. Our players saw this game about 2 minutes before you saw this game.
Well, here is Lethargic Scientist on? I don't see them, and I don't see Extreme Zero on yet. I see everyone else.
You see everyone else up? Okay. Looks like... So a lot of people haven't reacted to my message to check on them. Who did you say I'm still checking it on?
Lethargic Scientist and Extreme Zero. I got a nice layout built for this, so we're going to see all 8 screens at once this time, so we won't be switching back and forth. In the future, if we have 8 players, that's the way I'm going to do it, I think, unless it's widescreen. Because widescreen sure won't work, but for a retro game, we can do it. As far as I can tell, there's a CD32 and a Amiga version, and you can use whatever one you want. They're pretty much the same as far as I can tell. The CD version just has better music. That's what I hear.
The speedrun leaderboard may have a little more. We do often try to follow them if they have any specific rules. It doesn't seem like the leaderboard is particular about what versions you can use, though. Just says beat the game, which is a great way to set up your rules. I think this one will be good. I would recommend if you're wanting to get in on this. Most of our players are probably going to be playing on the Genesis version, so unless we can really confirm that they're all exactly the same, your best bet's going to be joining us on the Genesis version.
Yeah, I just read a blurb. I didn't read like a speedrunner log. I read a blurb that said they should be the same. So you know they might not actually be the same, but that's what they're mostly the same. I watched someone play both of them side by side for comparison, and it seemed like one of them was a little faster than the other, but that might have just been them playing it. I mean, they looked the same to me, just outwardly, but you never know. You know, there might be some actual change happening, some patch. I see everybody except for Lethargic Scientist at this point.
Alright, I pinged Lethargic Scientist, but I have still not heard back. They may have been counting on us starting a little later. You know, sometimes that pesky arcade pit can run over.
That damn show ended on turn 13. What the? What do you think of my hat?
It's a nice hat.
It looks great over headphones.
I never understand people who can pull off, you know, actually wearing headsets with hats over them. Like, do you have a hat custom made for it? I don't understand these people. Where are they getting their hat money from?
I don't know. I mean, if anything, this one's a little too small. It's definitely not big enough for that.
Trying to check for them. They're asking about settings right now, and I'm just trying to make sure I understand what settings they should be using. There's a practice mode, which was a common name for a mode that gives you infinite continues, but I don't know if the speedrun actually uses that version or that mode.
I'll watch it real quick again and see what they pick.
Yeah, I'm checking right at the beginning. I'm not seeing just yet.
They don't even go into the options on this.
Yeah.
Let me see what the other one does. Neither of them do. I'm not sure.
A lot of these games maintain their... If you just soft reset, they maintain their settings, so... I guess they don't have to, but... Alright, so it sounds like we're going to go with 5 continues and not practice mode, because practice mode locks you out of the later stages of the game, according to the manual.
Yeah, we don't want that.
The speed bumpers are already at it. They've already found out more information about this game than we've ever known.
I played it for like 2 hours. That's all I got. I got the first couple levels down. I beat the first boss. I
watched about half of the speed run. That's what I've got so far.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I built a spell or two in my time, in my misadventures. This game was called Troll and Flink, and then they decided, well, we're gonna make him a bumbling wizard, and we're gonna put misadventures in there at the last minute.
I haven't heard back from Lethargic Scientist. Granted, we started at a different time than we said we were going to, I think, so...
We can wait a couple minutes if you want. Give him the 9:30. Let's see what information we got on this. There are 10 spells. I can go over those.
Go for it.
They're in the FAQ. So the recipes themselves are just kind of lying around in game, and they tell you things like, yeah, it's one of these two, I don't remember really, and then it's the plant, and then it's some other thing, I don't really remember, it's one of these two. That's what the recipes are like. They're kind of blurry and hard to read, I guess. So, you know, they're not great. But 50-50, you'll figure out the ingredients eventually on these spells, and once you do, I think you're locked in on them.
Yeah.
And the one I had grew trees, which was leading to 1-ups and magic and stuff. And
so is what spell you use based on what ingredients you use?
Yeah, you drop them into a cauldron and you mix them up, and you get back a spell cast out of it. A usable cast. Yeah, so okay, I see the spells now. Man, these guides are nice. Now they got HTML, you can just click and go right down to the spell list. Alright. We have Quick Grow, which you cast this spell while standing on a certain type of plant to make it grow tall. You can reach hidden areas. Typically, that's early on. It's not a very good spell. They stop using it before too long, unfortunately. So you probably
considering this is a PAL game, we'll probably play it. I mean, your emulator is going to default to 50 FPS because that's the PAL standard. So even if there's an option to change it, I would say don't. I mean, if you wanted to do that on actual hardware, you'd have to have a modified Genesis anyway, right? I don't think there's any Genesises out there that'll play PAL cartridges at 60 FPS to my knowledge. But I don't dabble in PAL very often.
Lightning Bolt kills the enemies on screen. See, that sounds useful. Possibly.
Oh my god, this is a Vic Tokai game? That explains so much. I love Vic Tokai. He made Kid Cool, and he made Decap Attack, Psycho Fox. Great games.
You can summon a demon that attacks enemies when they come near. It will kill 5 of them before disappearing. If you cast it twice, it will kill 10 with a horned demon, the strongest of demons. Energy bomb. There's a lot of combat ones, and I think that those are the most likely to be useful. Ones that make you immune to damage, ones that kill enemies. Those sound like something that speedrunners might be interested in. You have to shrink at some point, I think. I think you have to shrink Flink to get into this place, so that might be a mandatory one for all I know. Dust Devil summons several tornadoes that kill enemies. Turn Flink into a ghost so he can enter the cloud stages. So again, there's 2 spells that are related to just accessing areas, entire sections of games. So I think we'll run into those. I think they're mandatory, but we'll see. Shield gives 3 energy balls that orbit around him, and Platform creates platforms for him to step on. Those are your spells, pretty much.
Alright, I'm checking to see whether or not everyone's mostly ready. Letting them know that we're planning to start at 9:30, so a few minutes.
I guess we're not actually lethargic.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't heard from.
Is anyone else jumping in?
My computer's clock is a little off.
Dread programmer Vic Tokai.
I don't see anyone else jumping in.
Okay. Well, if they get on, they can join in whenever they want.
Alright.
Here's our scene. All set, ready to go. While we race, I'm going to go ahead and set up the website to reflect the data. If everyone's ready, does anyone have audio for me to grab?
I think that Extreme Zero is going to have clean audio. Usually Fiona does as well. I'm giving them the countdown right now if you want to ready the clock.
I am ready. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna get working on the website too while they go. So, one thing I did notice is you can throw the enemies. Extreme Zero's already started with that. You can throw the enemies. Some of the enemies take 2 hits to kill. You gotta jump on them twice, or whatever.
Oh, I'm not going to say this all night. I have to get this out of my system exactly one time, though. This game looks like someone looked at Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse and said, let me copy off of your homework. But don't make it too obvious. But it's super obvious.
This game's artist recently made a new game, or at least contributed to the art in a new game. That just hit Switch.
Eric says that they might be mislabeled. Eric's is not Eric's, according to him.
Yeah, that's my bad. Fiona and Eric's are mixed up. It's because of my dumb way that I did these. That's better.
Oh, is this Signosis as well?
Yes.
That made this? Oh god. Yeah, I'm starting to get Pugsy vibes from it too.
So I was talking about the magic system is a little weird. It is basically the rings in Sonic, and also it's the spells material. So it's basically like if you had 20 rings in Sonic, you could cast a spell. As Sonic likes to do. But effectively it works the same way. If you have magic, you won't take a death. If you have any at all, a single drop, and you can pick it back up when you get hit. It works exactly the same way as that.
Okay.
Or famous game Jelly Boy, where you pick up music notes and you don't die. It works the same as rings.
This game looks absolutely wild to me. I love this.
It's pretty good, and the speedrun is really cruising.
Yeah, since this is just Magical Quest, the main speed tech in that is when you run down a hill, you get faster, and as long as you keep jumping on flat ground, you can maintain that speed, because there's otherwise no real way to run.
If you don't like this version of the music, you could try the CD version. It's got that Genesis style.
Do you know these earlier levels better than I do? Who's making progress right now? Where are we?
I think Extreme Zero is having the most bad time. As far as who's the furthest, it looks kind of like Starman.
Okay.
They're all in the same area, though, roughly. They're dealing with these seesaws, which are a little tricky.
Yeah, they seem fickle at the very least. You got to be standing in the right spot, and you got to hit the right spot with the rock.
Yeah, it throws you forward a bit is the thing, so they have to do it in a way you wouldn't expect, which is, you need to be standing on the left side usually here.
Sure. Seems like everyone's still getting their bearings, you know? No one really seems like they've broken ahead. No big leads right now. Everyone just seems to be trying to kind of figure out how to make this game function, which I think is quite telling based on all the chatter going on in the Speed Bump channel right now of everyone cursing the way this game controls.
I didn't think it was that bad. It's a little weird. You get used to it.
No, I think it probably just takes some getting used to, for sure.
There is a lot
It's one of those games that doesn't control the way you want it to.
Yeah, it definitely is an old style. And there's a lot of notes in game that tell you how to do everything. So if you read those, they'll point you in the right direction, and you don't have to read them. So it's a kind of tutorial that is obnoxious, but you like to see it on the second playthrough because you can just not read the notes.
Dude's on a part that I haven't seen yet, so...
Yeah, they're doing good work. There is a boss up the road eventually here that you have to throw rocks at until it's dead. Misadventures of the wizard Flink, who doesn't use wizardry at all. He just kind of picks up a boulder and throws it until his enemies are dead. You can see the recipe there on Starman's. That's what I was talking about. You know the 3 ingredients, but you don't know exactly what the order is.
Oh, so the order actually matters.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
And these
Why
enemies
would they
drop
do
that. They drop that stuff. So currently you can't even make that.
They should have thought about not doing it that way and instead just telling you how the magic worked.
They should have not had a crafting system at all. No game should have ever had a crafting system. In Skyrim, when you want a knife, you should just spit a knife out of your mouth. That would be better than crafting a knife. In my opinion, no game has ever crafted well.
I was about to say, you're sitting here yucking about 50% of Minecraft's yum there.
Yeah, I know. I never played Minecraft for good reason. I played Terraria, and I don't do the crafting part very much. That's right, all mine, no craft. If we were playing Minecraft together, I would go down the dungeons and I would kill a bunch of shit and bring back materials and just hand it to you, and I'd never come make anything with it. That's how I played.
See, I hope you make cool stuff.
Yeah. I played Terraria with like 7 people, and I was the only one digging, and the rest of them just took the trash load of stuff that I brought, and I came back and they had built a giant tree house, and it just came out of nowhere. They'd spent the entire time I was playing dungeon diving, working on that stuff. I killed the boss, and all they had done was build a big tree house.
Really interesting watching everyone work out how these mechanics actually work. Just watching everyone interact with that first seesaw for all that time. Everyone kind of picked up on it at different speeds and in different ways.
The seesaw is definitely throwing you forward. I mean, the physics make sense. It's just not how video games typically do a seesaw. They typically shoot you straight up. This puzzle that dude's on needs to be solved. Yeah, it's solved by not using the seesaw. You just kind of toss it up there.
Nice. Is that the first stage we've seen cleared? Dude's about to finish it.
Oh no, that's a common marker.
Okay.
We've seen it a couple times. They go to this world screen. One stage away from the boss is where Dude is, and I think they are in the lead with that. Yeah, we'll have to check the exacts on how the world record is run. It's kind of hard to tell. The video doesn't really specify, and the leaderboard sure doesn't. And it really should. That's kind of important. There is no American version of this game, though, as far as we could tell. It was only a...
Yeah, we were really trying to find an NTSC version. The speedrunning community is incredibly biased toward NTSC, as I'm sure any European speedrunner hates. But typically, the preference is to run games on NTSC versions, and congrats to the Europeans. This one doesn't have a American release.
Yeah.
JKL says, pretty sure the world record this is actually 60 FPS. We'll look into that. Thank you for pointing that out, because that's something that I wouldn't have noticed. I'm not really very good at discerning the difference visually. The Sega CD one has an NTSC release. Alright, well, we'll have to figure out exactly what we're going to do about versions. I mean, if in the end we just decide, you know, screw the leaderboard, we run whatever version we want to, then maybe we'll do Sega CD version.
My preference is the one that runs better.
Yeah, right now I think the one that's going to run best is going to be the Genesis version, even if we have to do some funny business.
That's right, I didn't get to play Flink as a kid just because I'm not in Europe.
That's the reason.
Yep. My mom would have bought this for me in a heartbeat. It's that Demon's Crest. She got mad when she saw me playing Firebrand. The red arrow, no, that's not for humans.
Sega CD emulation exists, I know that. I don't know how good the quality of the emulation is.
Dude, just having trouble grabbing this vine. I can't remember, it was a little weird, the controls to do it, but it wasn't hard. I think you just, you have to release and press run or whatever. They're gonna have to work it out to get out of this place. They've missed this vine many times now.
Getting out of that water seems like a nightmare. Is grabbing that vine while you're jumping to the side, like, really tricky?
I don't think so. I think they just forgot how to do it.
I know that in some games, you know, like, if grabbing the vine is an up input, in some games, if you're holding, like, a sideways input, it prevents you from being able to do the input you need to do.
I'm pretty sure that you just need to press what would be the run button, but isn't actually a run button, so you shouldn't be holding it in anyway. I think they just forgot how to grab the vines. It's probably been a little while. We'll see if anyone else struggles with that. Other people are catching up.
There we go.
Get this posted. Okay, so here's our leaderboard. Right here. Okay, the artist is famous and still working in the industry. I can't remember their name.
The artist for this game?
Yes.
This is ultimately a really cool game that I'm surprised I'm completely unaware of. There are so many different angles I could have discovered this game by, and I feel like I should have. It's a obscure Genesis game. That seems like something I would have discovered it by. It's Psygnosis, which, you know, I'm a big fan of some of their work, so... And then it's a direct ripoff of, Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse, which is a game I love. Van really tried to serpentine in midair to get up there.
Like I was saying, yeah, the artist, I can't remember their name, but they had just released a game on the Switch recently, like 2 months ago. What they had done the graphics for.
That's awesome.
So they're still working in this industry, and they made very many games in this art style. Hank Nieborg sounds correct. In the game they had released on the Switch, it's called Battle Axe, which is on the PS4 and Xbox as well. Yeah, that's it. Worked on Shantae too, wouldn't surprise me. So we got...
It's wild to me that this is both Psygnosis and Vic Tokai, because those are like two game designers that both make games that control like badly. And it just feels like a game that is from both has got to be something special. Like a once-in-a-lifetime marriage of publisher that makes games that control badly and developer that makes games that control badly. Stream Zero threw that rock off the platform and then just stood still for a moment, and I have to imagine the thought going through his head was just, why did I do that? This boss is incredible.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with this boss, actually. It's not... There's nothing to it, but I still had trouble with it. The fact that it gives you a ring every time it takes a hit is a really generous thing. I don't know what I mean, you want to call them rings? I could call them bubbles of magic, but they are effectively making you immune to damage here, because as long as you collect the one that drops, it doesn't really matter if you take damage or not. I'm wondering if there's a faster way to do this boss. I should have paid more attention to the speedrun.
Imagine it's got to be faster, just rather than trying to stay safe, just plan to re-grab any health that you need. Play it risky. So those bubbles are not the same magic that you use to cast spells, right? Those are just health?
The bubbles?
Yeah, the ones that...
They're magic. That is the spell stuff, yeah.
Okay.
You're using your gasoline to light up those spells, but you're also drinking that gasoline to stay alive. Basically, that's how wizards work. They drink gasoline.
That metaphor broke down so fast.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how much magic you need for the spells, but it is the same source of fuel for yourself as it is for the spells.
Look, buddy, I don't know how much gasoline you've drank in your life.
I don't know how much the spells cost to do. Not only do they cost magic power, but also ingredients. It would be funny if I was wrong about them even costing magic power, and that was just for health, but I think it's for both. Pretty sure it is. The bottle blinks if you're completely empty. The red bottles give you a chunk of it, which is the equivalent of like a ring box. They really just wanted to have Sonic's mechanic and everything, and you know what? It's a good idea, because it completely shuffles the difficulty down.
That's good. Too many games were excited about being overly challenging.
Yeah, as soon as I knew that was a mechanic in this, it suddenly went way up on the charts of, maybe we can use this. Because I don't want it to be ridiculously hard. We have a limited number of lives as it is, which is also an antiquated thing, but you know what? You can't win them all. You can't get everything. I like how we're just Flink, the guy who picks on these farmers who are just trying to deliver their herbs, and you just jump on them and steal one. And that's what he does.
Well, I mean, that's the way wizards of the era were.
That's how wizards never will stop being. You didn't see Gandalf in Lord of the Rings mug the hobbits on the way in for their tobacco.
Oh my god.
Still working on this boss?
I mean, Dude's gotten past it. Everyone else is still behind it.
Yeah. Fiona's been here for a little while. Dude's further than I got in my little playthrough of this. This town has been abandoned. Something went wrong. Somebody gave Flink direction on how bad this town was off, so now we're dealing with some guards. But he is definitely not the bad guy. Trust us. He looks like he might be, but you know what? We're led to believe that he's not. And he's got a cape, so...
The mechanics of these falling platforms that never go back up are just wild to me. Like, you can completely screw yourself out of progress.
Have you seen
How is that not directly copying Magical Quest? The way that you grab enemies and you throw them and they spin as they slide away from... Why am I so upset about this?
It's fine. Games
I'm
love to
so
learn
upset
each
about
other's ideas. Did you notice you can hit yourself with your own rocks? Because that makes this boss a lot more interesting, I'll tell you what.
As you said that, I just saw Fiona do that, so...
It's very, very easy to do, in fact. If you ever see any weird-looking plants at this point where everyone is, it's guaranteed to be probably maybe a growth plant. Any weird green, neon green one, like that one that Eric's standing on right now. Can they build the spell? They're checking the recipe. It's either an ancient ring or an herb in slot 1. Wonder if the other recipes are a little bit more specific, maybe. We have Extreme Zero making a recipe.
At least once you know how to create the spell, like, not for casual playthrough, but for a speedrun, at least once you know how, that, like, negates all of this.
Yes. I think they don't have enough magic to do it. See, it's blinking, so they need at least this much, +1. They'll never get that chest. It took the time to build the spell and select it and all of that, and then they just fell off a cliff instead. Extreme Zero is a source of audio, by the way.
People in the Discord channel are still hooting and hollering about this game.
Fiona has done it. Beat a boss. Want to take a peek? Be sure to take occasional recess during extended play to rest yourself and the Sega CD disc. Sometimes the game needs a break. This is Taravan's note.
I love that. I love that. In 2020, we're telling people, 2021, we're telling people, you know, take a break once in a while because you need a chance to rest. Back then, it was, hey, the CD needs to breathe.
Fiona says, this game is terrible.
Might let the CD breathe.
I think they're having a good time. Dude is making steady progress. They're already in World 2 and they're cruising through it, it looks like. I say as they fly off. But hey, it happens to any Flink. That's the first continue I've seen him use.
Just Flink in here, no big deal.
Just a little Flink. So do you enjoy the way Mickey controls? Do you think it controls like that?
I think Mickey controls in a little bit more competent way, and the levels are designed around the way Mickey moves.
Eric's is working on a boss, and Fiona is in World 2 cruising on through the empty town. Full of guards.
We got 2 players. We got 2 players who made it straight into the next world, so that's impressive progress in this short amount of time. Now, looking at the speedrun, how many worlds does this game have? There's forest, a lot of village stages, tree stages, mountain stage. Oh, okay, come on. Come on! It's Magical Quest starring Mickey.
Hey, is the cloud stages showing up because there's a spell requirement to get in there, I understand.
There are a few cloud stages in the speedrun, yeah.
I think that the spell system may be mandatory then, just for that, if nothing else. I'm under the impression that we won't be using it much, even though the spells might be handy, because it just is too slow. It seems like a lot of time to cast a spell. You have to blend it, and then you have to have collected the items to blend them in the first place. And then you have to go back in and pick the spell, which is a one-time use. And then you have to use it after selecting it, which has an animation and also requires half a jar of magic, I guess. So I don't know that we'll be using it more than is necessary. It just seems like a lot.
Are there cloud stages in Magical Quest? No. There were some cloud sections, but no cloud stages.
Well, there you go. Heavy Magic and Mickey Mouse ripped off Link the Misadventure Boys.
Yes, 2 years later it ripped it off.
Yes. That's the magic of Mickey. Those lawyers will get anything done.
It might sound like I'm totally dunking on this game, but I love games that totally rip off games I actually like, because I want to play games I like more, so when you make more of a game I already like for me to play, I'm in. You got me. Looking at the list of splits on the world record, I would believe 22 stages.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too far off of what I think. I mean, we've already done quite a few. That boss is like, he's actually like stage 8. He's not too early on. It takes a little while to get to.
On average, the stages seem to be somewhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes. You know, on average, about a minute stage.
Yeah, again, we were looking at like a... What, how fast was that run? It was in the 20s. It's so fast. And it still had mistakes in it. Still had room to grow. And the second place time is in the 40s. So big split between those two, but even that wouldn't be too bad of a run. A game that takes 40 minutes to run, I could do that many times a day. Yeah, you can go back to the stages you've been at, I think, if you need to. I don't know if that comes up or not. Extreme Zero is trying to work out how to deal with the boss. Just think how dangerous it would be if it hit down the sticks and went after you. Uh-oh, Terravan back to the start.
Yeah, having some discussion about how would be best to play this game. PAL games are always kind of in a weird position, how the speedrunning community handles them. Every game does their own thing, really.
Yeah, so how do you run this game faster? Is that what they're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, you can run a PAL game in an NTSC mode, basically just playing at a higher frame rate. Sometimes speedrunning communities will do that. It's technically possible to do that on hardware, but that's mostly an emulator thing to my knowledge. I mean, alternately, our solution could be just saying we'll play on the Sega CD version if we can find a suitable emulator setup for it.
Terravan is giving in the towel on this one.
Alright.
After the game over, they had a permanent one. Seeing some new content on Fiona's screen I haven't seen.
How do you enter a door in this game?
You just press up, but it seems like they're having trouble with this particular door.
Huh.
He's reluctant to cooperate on this one, I don't know why.
Unsurprisingly, Fiona is hooting and hollering in Discord about this. But I think she has every right to.
Did dude get stuck on this door? Dude went right in.
Is it just hit the run button? Like, does the run button do it here, or is it actually just press up?
I'm pretty sure you just press up.
I wonder why it's being so fickle for Fiona.
Allegedly, dude just went right in there.
Need to cast the go into the door spell. I feel for Fiona. I absolutely believe she's doing everything she's... I imagine she's tried everything. So the question is, why is it not working for her? It finally worked! She crouched at the door and then pressed up, and that worked for her?
Oh, that's it. Nice work. Nah, yeah. Of course. Wizards love to duck. They just like to duck. You should have known. See, it's a misadventure. You don't enter doors correctly. Jeez.
Yeah, if everything went right, then it wouldn't live up to its name.
We can't insult this guy enough, but also he's our only hope. Clown Merlin has come to save us all. That's regular Merlin, by the way.
Regular Merlin was a clown all along. Starman was hoisted by their own petard. Apparently their final killing blow was getting hit by their own rock. Fiona's taking a DNF. Sounds like Starman's taking a DNF. Sounds like everyone's going to give it one earnest try on the continue system, so...
Yeah. Good throw. Let me see who's... so we can probably start setting up a 4-man screen here.
I think we're down to 4 at this point. We've got Eric's, Extreme Zero, Nodelecta, and Dude. Oh no, it looks like Starman's jumping back in. We still got 5.
I'll read some more data on this game here. Let's check out the FAQ. That should be some good details. That the speedrunner, I don't think has even any commentary, so we're a little in the dark on exactly how the speedrun strats go. Really nice game FAQ up there, though.
Game FAQ does have a lot of useful information.
Yeah. Pretty thorough. Actions on A, jump is B, cast spell with C. Enter a room with up.
Yeah, it's just that easy, Fiona.
There's basically every single stage, a breakdown on all the enemies and items in that stage, and directions on how to beat every stage. The forest stage has 5 levels, and then a boss. The boss is named the Ground Dragon. He takes 8 hits. Then you go to the village to free the village from evil. The village has 5-6 stages, and then a boss who is a Viking merchant.
Dude is taken to this like a fish to water, honestly making really great consistent progress without taking too much damage.
Try to cast the demon spell twice. There's the information on the horned demon spell, which will destroy 10 enemies. That seems like a lot of enemies based on what I'm seeing. That seems like an entire stage of enemies. 10? There's not that many. They're around. They're not like flooding in here.
I think Dude has a promising future running a long plays YouTube channel.
Or Misadventures of Flink speedrun. It looks like they're on stage 4. Hard to tell though.
I mean, Eric's is making great progress as well. Fiona was making excellent progress before she ended up game overing. Nodelecta, Extreme Zero, and Starman sticking it out as well. I think all of them have seen their fair share of deaths and game overs, so putting in a good effort.
After you beat the boss of this world, the village stage, you get a shrink spell, which you then take back to stage 5, and in stage 5 you cast the shrink spell and you enter the old apple tree, and that's how you get to the old apple tree stages, which there's only 3 of, and then you fight a monkey. Everyone likes to fight those. If you beat that, that really gives you the ghost spell, which lets you go to the mountain, and in the mountain you can go to the clouds, and there's 2 of those, and up on the clouds there's this big old monster there, and yeah, these are pretty split up. It's pretty interesting the way this game is splitting it up, honestly. I think the NPCs give you enough information based on what I'm seeing here to figure out this stuff. It's not like it's top secret. I imagine that you need to clear all of this content. There's only 2 cloud stages and a boss. And then the final stage is 1 volcano and then a volcano boss. Who apparently is just some jumping goblin. The boss of the game is just the jumping goblin, and it's just some little dude. This is what Flink had to stand up to.
That's how they get you, though. You think it's going to be some big boss, easy hitboxes. It's always this tiny guy that moves way faster than you do.
The guide says, "Wow, you really showed Wainwright. Congratulations!" And they have a picture of the little dude walking. That's amazing. Oh, sure. I'm surprised that everyone ran out of continues so quickly on this, but you know, it is what it is. It's hard to control. I play a lot of Kuso games. When I was in that tournament a couple times, I had trouble finding a game that I hadn't played before, and even when they did, they had trouble finding a game I didn't like after they had picked one. So I took to this game pretty quick.
I had to stop participating in Mystery Tournament because they couldn't find game. There were not as many games that I hadn't played, so I just kept getting saddled with Mega Man games I hadn't played before.
They had to break out the homebrew games that were made for some PC system that no longer exists that some kid made in high school. This is what I ended up playing on Kuso most of the time. But maybe that's why I didn't have too much trouble with this game, because I play those kind of games a lot. Here's the ground dragon. I guess it doesn't feel like you're making as much progress as you are, based on how many stages there actually are. Let me count. You do have to go back to the village stage once. That might be the only revisit there is. Village is the biggest with 6.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these areas are disproportionately sized, or sorry, not evenly sized, and it kind of is reminding me of the level structure in Pugsy, in the sense that they tried to go for this sort of more open world branching paths kind of thing, where you have to go back to previous levels to find new paths.
Yeah, they did that. The mountains don't even have a boss. I guess the volcano is the mountain part 2, and then that turns into the boss, the final boss. But there's 5 forest stages, and then a boss. 6 village stages, and a boss, so we're at 11. Tree has 3, so we're 14 and a boss. 19 with the mountain. Cloud puts you to 21, so there's 22 stages and 5 bosses. And you have to revisit the stages.
Probably about 5 minutes behind Dude. I mean, it's just unbelievable what smooth progress Dude has been making.
Yeah, this is the boss of the village. Definitely is. So they're almost done with more than half the game here. Based on what I just read, they're definitely, like, literally halfway done at this point.
Yeah. 22 levels and 5 bosses. If they've cleared about 10 levels and 2 bosses, they're about at the halfway point. 45 minutes in. So that's pretty telling of the actual length of this game. Once you get the idea of what you're doing and how to do some of these things a little faster. The world record's only 29 minutes, and me and Smite have both looked at it, and as always, no slight is meant, but it does look like there is room for improvement on that world record.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to take a shot at this game and beat it this week as well. Did you ever end up beating Jelly Boy?
I ended up playing some of it. I still want to go back and do all the puzzle pieces, though.
That was a fun route. I think being able to hang on to your magic power ring is just obviously essential. And that might make a difference between the players' trouble here. That's the boss dead, and they're telling us about the spell. And a little bit of information about where to use it, but hopefully dude saw where on the way past here. But they can go, I guess, to the mountain now if they want to. And just unlock the map. Like, that's all you'd be doing, though. I think you need to go to the tree, because it sounds like the spell that you need to get to the stuff on the mountain is from the tree. So you need to take that NPC's advice and actually go back now and go looking and not go forward. So a little deceptive there. But the NPC told you, so, you know, hopefully you can read, I guess, kids. Hopefully you know what you're doing with that.
Yeah, despite how challenging this game seems to be to control, dude has been making really great progress, which I think says more about him than it does about the game. Like, imagine what sort of person you'd have to be for this game to, like, click perfectly for you. We all dream of finding that one game that just clicks perfectly for us.
People are talking about how the momentum works. And jumping apparently gives you the full speed. Uh-oh, dude's gamed over by the shieldman. I think that's it.
That was a full game over.
It's finally happened.
Well, Eric's has an opportunity to overtake him. Is that a full game over for Eric's, or is that just one of his game overs?
I think when it displays the text like that, you're in trouble. No luck just says they're in a soft lock. I think you can reset the screens by leaving them. Not sure what their soft lock position is here. You have to go far away. Extreme Zero lost their platform. That's pretty funny. I was wondering about that.
The object you're supposed to use to catapult up to the next platform didn't spawn after a continue.
I'll tell him to try and go farther away. Oh no, they died. Well, there was a chest there he can throw. Don't them chests use the launcher? Dude's jumping right back in. With all that knowledge. Unstoppable.
Can't get enough of this game.
You know, that's understandable.
We're gonna hear from him like 3 days later, find out he hasn't slept once.
Are you seeing the wooden platforms on the Electa screen bouncing off each other? That threw me off earlier in the game when I tried to jump on one. And it bounced right off the wall and wasn't where I thought it would be at all, because it just has a lot of ricochet on it. Yeah, this was our warm-up race. You know, we didn't expect anyone to do a clear of it, but that would have been fun to see too if they actually did manage to beat it. But that would have been surprising, is what I'm saying. That would have been impressive. Yeah. We are looking at a game that is fairly hard to learn. But once you have the hang of it, you'll be in business. It's not like... I don't think it's a hard game. I think it's just hard to grasp. And once you grasp it, you'll have no trouble. I mean, again, you have a method for immortality. You probably can 1cc this game pretty easily with the Sonic Rings system. Just don't fall down any pits, and you're pretty much golden. It's not like these enemies are, you know, doing anything. They're kind of just running back and forth. I think most people's deaths have happened to platforming troubles, which is definitely learnable. I don't remember how long I was on this game. It couldn't have been more than 20 or 30 minutes, and I had made it to the village myself. I don't know how I was done beyond that. I think I used the continuer one.
Well, the game definitely doesn't strike me as easy, but at the same time, I think it's also got a lot going for it that make it very playable. We've definitely had some hard games in Speed Bump before, games that were probably more difficult than we really intended them to be. I think this one is approachable. If you're interested in it and you want to check it out.
Yeah, I beat Skull Monkeys. This game isn't as hard as that. No way. That is one of the hardest games we've done. In terms of a record to beat, at least, it certainly is up there. I actually think one of the hardest games we've done was Rising Zan, and we beat that record. That one is a really hard game, and it got demolished by our runners. That and possibly the Shinobi game that was damn near impossible. Because each version had a different unbreakable problem, and
we did the best we could with Shinobi.
We had to change genres on that one, and it still had an ending that was nowhere near as easy as it should have been. Here comes Flank. Man, I hate the Genesis soundtrack though. That's what gets me. That's my complaint. Because it's on the Genesis. Ugh. I hired a musician one time to make me some music for Arcade Pit, and they mostly worked in the Genesis sound font, so we couldn't agree on anything. Yeah, the spells do seem cool. I just don't know if they are usable enough in the run that we're doing. Unfortunately, it's one of those cool mechanics that is hidden behind an awful crafting system that makes the game take a lot of time to do it. You can't just pull out a lightning spell. You have to make it first, and I think that's going to be a slaughter for it. Whatever the ingredients are for the Shrink spell and the Cloud Ghost spell, you're going to need those. So you're going to have to collect some ingredients at some point, but I think there's plenty to go around, I think. Can't say that for certain.
Starman hit themselves with so many rocks.
There's the log I was talking about on dude's screen right now. It just ricochets right off the wall. The Genesis is capable of sounding nice. Like, I think Sonic has a good sound design. I don't like Sonic very much, but as I play the Ring Shuffler, that was one thing I had to say is it sounded good. By the way, that is a fully functional thing, and turns out if you just avoid the bonus rounds, you're in really good shape. But if you do get caught in a bonus round, you just have to be careful.
Not to collect rings or to collect too many rings?
In Sonic 2 in particular, that bonus round tends to break, so you just avoid the rings and fail it, and you're good.
Okay.
If you pick them up, then you might end up having to use the recovery features that are actually built into the plugin. You don't use RetroArch recovery features. Their save states don't work. They'll cause error messages. But the dev had built into his plugin some rewind features that can get you out of there, but it works. We can actually do it, and it does have a co-op mode or a competitive mode, and a Twitch Plays mode too, for that matter, where the chat can shuffle your games or mess up your colors.
Nice.
And when I say mess up the colors, I mean like when you grab a fuzzy in Mario 2, Mario World 2. Worse than that. Here comes the tomatoes? Wait, where's Eric's at? What is this? Are they in the clouds? That's the demo, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's on the track mode right now.
Ooh, attract mode. Fancy name. So we got a sneak peek at some later levels. I'll go through this game. I bet it won't take me more than 2 hours to beat it based on what I've seen and having played a little bit of it already. I'll fully explore this and see how it goes. We'll see what the speed bump community thinks about it. You want to call it? Or 56?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. We'll go ahead and push over here. It's Extreme Zero Turbo modes through it. All right. Well, yeah. A little bit less than 30 minutes is our record. And
I think that's beatable. I think that's doable.
Was a good race. Yeah, we had 7 players. When are we doing our next mystery race? I mean, we'll be looking at this game next week, right? In terms of content, seeing how it's going. We'll probably watch the world record next week. I think we should do that. But the week after that, we might do a mystery race of just a one-off.
Okay.
And then the week after that, I'm not sure. The week after that, we should be done. Should be watching whatever the world record is again, if there is a new one.
I think by next week, I'm not anticipating there being a new world record, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the speed bumpers do with this, because a few people seem genuinely interested in doing what they can with it, so.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me out the blues.
Thanks for having me.